Hello, once again, everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is Zeppler. I'm just out killing things right now. I'm actually waiting on my nephew. We're actually questing together.
I'm out of range.
Doing things and questing leveling up. But I'm just out here just doing things for fun. Hope you all enjoy the video. Hope you all doing well. I know it's kind of a rough time for everybody with all this COVID stuff going on, but hope everyone out there is doing well. Everybody's safe. But for those of you who have seen my other videos on my channel, those videos are back in the day when I played. I played, last I played, I think it was in 2009, I believe it was. Just now back into the game again after 9 years. I stepped away from the game just before Mr. Pandoria came out. I was in a guild called Splode. We had a pretty good group of people in that guild, and we were doing in-game content at the time. We were doing Firelins was the in-game content that we were doing. We cleared that in normal raid, heroic, 25 man, and we cleared it every way possible that you can clear it. I got my my orange staff, which is a godly weapon. At the time they came out with a godly weapon at that time for mages, which was kind of difficult to get out of because you had to run firemen, which was the in-game content at the time, several times to get the items that you needed to get after killing bosses. So it took several runs for me to get that weapon. But it was a staff. It was a pretty nice staff. Had a lot of bonuses to it. It was really cool. But when I stopped playing, I was at max level, which was 90 at the time. And then when I returned to Shadowlands, which is where I'm at now, all my characters were maxed out and max geared. Had the best of the best gear for all my characters that I played. And I came back from 90. I came back to level 32. They did the character nerf, level nerf. So the max level now in Shadowlands is level 60, like it used to be back in the original WoW when it came out. The original WoW was level 60. And I don't know how long you may be playing, those of you watching, but I'm kind of old school with this game. I started playing when it first came out, when the max level was 60, and where you had to get to level 40 before you got your first ground mount. They didn't have any flying back then, so you had to get to level 40 to get your apprentice riding skill. And then when you hit level 60, the max level, then you got the advanced riding skill. It's still ground, but you got the advanced riding skill, which you were able to ride faster. But yeah, they didn't come out with the flying until the following expansion. But yeah, if any of you know the old content, the original WoW, if you were to start at level 1 as an example and just level up to level 60, imagine, some of you may know the size of some of these maps. Say back in them days, leveling took a long time. Just for the simple fact that you had to run or take a flight path everywhere you wanted to go. And once you're in a zone, there may be one or two flight paths in a zone. Like for instance, Stranglethorn Vale, as an example. There's a flight path all the way north, and then there's a flight path all the way south. So if you're in the middle of that map, and it's a pretty huge map. So if you're in the middle of that map and you're questing, if you have to turn that quest in, and it's all the way north or south, and you're in the middle, you've got to run that whole distance. said, leveling back in them days took a very long time for you to get from 1 to 60. But that's what I missed about the game. That's why I really stopped playing the game, because they took a lot of the progression out of the game. Once they started adding up all these new expansions that they were coming out with and things like that, they just took away a lot of the progression of the game, and the progression of the game is what I enjoy. But that's why I stopped playing all those years ago. My nephew convinced me to give it another shot and see how I liked it. I mean, the game has changed a lot. A lot has changed in the game, and as an example, see, I was always an arcane mage, but the talent trees are all different now. You could actually split your talents into two different trees if you wanted to be arcane frost or arcane fire, or fire and frost, or whatever the two combinations you wanted. You could have different talents in different trees, two different trees at the same time. That's no longer available. Okay, it's like a spell that I noticed that I didn't have as an arcane mage was Blizzard, which is a crowd control, which is an AOE damaging spell. It's a blizzard, it's a storm that I cast out to run all the mobs to kill them. Now the only AOE, area of effect, spell that the arcane mage has now, or always has had, is arcane explosion, and to use that you have to be on top of the mobs to do that. The blizzard, you could do that from afar, but arcane mages no longer have that ability, being arcane. So that's just one example of how the characters, they have changed the characters. Now if you're arcane mage, all your talent points go to arcane. If you're a fire mage, all your talents go into fire. If you're frost, they all go to fire, frost. You can't mix and match your talent trees anymore. But like I said, I'm learning the game again. Like I said, 'cause so much has changed. But as far as the actual character itself, yeah, there's some things that's changed about it, and I'm getting used to it. I'm getting to know it again really well, and I've only been playing maybe a maximum of probably 4 days, maybe a couple hours a day, and I came back as a level 32, and I'm now 56. I'm 4 levels away from reaching the max level. So that should tell you how easy it is to level in the current game, because you just get so much more experience per quest these days than you used to back in the older days, back when I played 9 years ago. And as far as gold is concerned, gold is so easy to come by in the new game. It's kind of crazy. But then a lot of the things that that you would want, they're more expensive. Gold is so much more easier to come by, but things are so much more expensive. And I can give you an example here. I'll open up my bags here in a minute to give you an example of what I'm talking about. We got this premium thread that you see here in my bag, okay, and that is to make my bags. So I'll open up my tailoring and show you. See, I can make this shrouded cloth bag, a 30 slot bag, okay, but I need 20 of the cloth and 15 of the thread. But see, the thread, just the thread alone, costs 9 gold per thread, and I need 15 of them. So I have enough mats right now. Well, I don't have enough mats, but if I wanted to make 3 bags, I would have to go spend 315 gold just for the thread alone, okay, at 9 gold a piece. So if I wanted to make 3 bags, that means I need 45 of the thread, and I only have 15. or I only have 10. Sorry, it takes 15 to make it. So I only got 10. So if I wanted to make 3 bags, I needed 45 thread, and I only got 10, and they're 9 gold apiece. So you do the math. That's 315 gold. But then I can turn around and sell those bags for like 30 slot bags. They're like 300 gold a piece in the auction house, if not more. You know, a piece. Okay, so I'd make my profit back like twice. I get 200% profit on what I got to spend to make them. But that's just an example of how much stuff costs now to buy in the game. And you know, like that thread, the older bags, you know, like let's see, these older bags that I can make, like this bag here, this 36 slot bag. Okay, this it takes 20 of the ember silk cloth, and it takes 40 of the volatile life to make this 36 slot bag. Okay, so you know, I can imagine what the cloth would be expensive if you were to buy it straight out of the auction house. Okay, very expensive. Here's another bag, 22 slot bag. This is not Shadowlands stuff that I'm looking at here. The stuff you see up here, that's Shadowland patterns. Okay, then you got Cataclysm patterns. Okay, that's back when I played Cataclysm. But yeah, all this older stuff, Northern Rin patterns, that's when I remember that one first came out. That area first came out, Northrend. The Frostweave bag. See here, this was a common bag back in the day when I played, a 20 slot bag, and it was very easy to make. I could give you an example of this Ethereum thread. I believe from a vendor back in the day. I think it was like 50 silver for the thread back in the day, and the thing that was harder to get was the frostweed. You know, you had to farm to get the frostweed, but this was the most common type bag back when I played, the 20 slot bag. Now you got back to 36 slotters and stuff like that. You know, so like that older bag, that 20 slot bag, I would probably sell that in the auction house for like 50 gold at the time. Now it's probably worth 150 gold. That particular bag would be like 150 gold in the auction house today. So much has changed with the game and the prices for things and stuff like that. But for you, for those of you those of you who don't play the game or are thinking about getting the game to play it, if you're looking for recommendations, what I would recommend, because you know, they give you the option if you want to have your level, you can have your character start at a certain level. I really wouldn't recommend that if you've never played the game before, just for the simple fact that once your character comes in the game at a certain level, you're starting in a certain area of the game, and I don't highly recommend that. I highly recommend that you start at level 1 and then progress, because like I said, leveling in the game these days now, it doesn't matter what zone you're in, it's all the same speed. Very quickly, you level very quickly. But I would recommend that you start at level 1. That way you get to know the character, and as you level, you'll get spells and abilities and things like that as you level. And you'll get to use those abilities and know how they work as you're leveling, opposed to going into the game at a certain level and then having to learn them that way. So it's much better to learn them as you're getting them, opposed to already having them. That's just what I would recommend.
I need a target.
But to each their own. You know, these days it's more about getting to the max level as quickly as you can. That's more important than knowing how to play your character. That's just the way it is. But that's the downside of it, because you know you get there as quickly as you can and not really getting to know your character and how to play it. And next thing you know, you're ready to raid. You're at the level where you can raid 10-man raids, and you really don't know how to play your character. But then you get in a raid and you keep dying. You know, because you don't really know the character too well, and you don't know what abilities it has and what those abilities do and how they benefit you. So again, I would recommend that you level, and you get to know how your character performs, what it can and what it cannot do. You'll have when it comes to the in-game content, you'll get much more enjoyment out of it, opposed to just saying I want to get to max level as quickly as possible and not worry about anything else. But then when you get in a group to raid, you don't know what you're doing because you don't know how to play your character. But again, to each their own. That's a decision you'll make, and hopefully you're able to make the adjustment if you do make that choice. And I wish you all the luck in the world. But I'm gonna sign off for now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was a little bit informative to you. And I'm still waiting for my nephew to show up, and if he does, we'll do some quests. I'll record then, and maybe we'll do a dungeon or two, and I'll record that and post it for you guys. Okay? Peace out, guys.